Today we're going to talk about one of the most important aspects of Photoshop, colors. Doesn't matter which design piece you're going to design, it will have colors, even if it's black and white. So you got to be able to use it, and more than just use it, you're going to be able to master it over this video. So buckle up, sit tight, and let's go. First thing you gotta know is that we have two color modes, the main ones. Okay, there are more than two, but we have two main ones. They are RGB and CMYK. To explain you that, I'm gonna use my color panel. Mine is here on the left. I organized that way. You can watch the first video and see how to set it up. Yours is probably here on the right side, and if it's not showing up to you, you can just click here on Window and come down to Color, this one, okay? And then you're gonna have the color panel over here. So I want to explain it to you in a very simple way. I'm gonna click here in the menu for my panel, the panel menu, and we have here a lot of different sliders. So I'm gonna choose first the RGB slider. I want you to note that I have here yellow and blue, and I have the RGB, which stands for red, green, and blue. And if you want to create white with these three colors, you're going to have all of them at the maximum value, which is 255. So if I just drag it all the way to the right, you're going to see now that I have white here and white here on my left side. If I want to make it black, I want to drag everything to my left. So I'm going to remove all the blue pixels, all the green pixels, all the red pixels, and everything I'm going to have is black. Okay, that's the RGB. You use that when you want to design for screens, for usually screens, so phones, laptops, iPads, things like that. And I'm gonna open now the CMYK sliders. And the CMYK is exactly opposite. So we're gonna work with four colors, which is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. So that's the CMYK. If I want to create black with CMYK, I'm going to drag everything to the right, all the way to the right. And then I'm going to have black. If I pull it all to the left, now I'm going to have white. Okay, that's how it works, because the screen is black. So you're adding colors to it, and eventually you're going to have white. CMYK, we use that when you want to print something, and the paper is white. So if you want to create black, you have to add all the colors, okay? So you're not removing, then you're adding the colors. In this case, that's how it works. So if you want to make white, you're going to apply no colors at all. You're not going to print anything. If you want to make black, you're going to apply all the colors, okay? So that's the very first thing you got to know about colors. It's super simple, not complicated at all. And if you look at my sliders, let me go back to the RGB. If you look at my sliders, notice that the color here is going to change. So I'm going to drag all the way to the left, and you're going to realize that even the green changed and now it's blue, because now I'm only adding green and blue is going to make this color. If I remove a little bit of blue and I add a little bit of red, or maybe all the way red, I'm going to have a certain tone of yellow, a certain shade of yellow. And if I remove blue completely, I'm going to have the most yellow I can have. That's one of the ways you can understand colors. But honestly, we don't use it like that, okay? Most of the time we go for the feeling we have, oh, I want this color, or this color. Or most of the time, we're going to just use our swatches, which we're going to talk about just in a bit. So I want to show you first that we have a few options here. First, to have the hue cube. That's the most common one. You can change the hue here, which pretty much means you're going to change the color if you change this thing over here. Okay, so just click and drag over it. And if you notice, on the left side is white and the right side is color. So here is when you're going to add saturation to it. And brightness is up and down. Up and down. So down here I have no color at all, that's black, all the way down here. And up there is fully bright, okay? So it's super simple to understand, not complicated, and the same thing, you're usually gonna go by a feeling. So you're gonna look, oh, I want a blue, a light blue, oh, that's a light blue, maybe like that, a little bit lighter. So I like this color and I'm gonna use this color. That's usually how you're gonna do it. You gotta understand color theory, but that's usually how we do it, okay? And my favorite way is just using the swatches. They are already pretty good colors. So if you just come here on the left, I have the Swatches panel. If it's not showing up to you, come here to Window, and then Swatches, uh, down here, Swatches, and then it's gonna show up for you. You'll probably notice that if you're comparing yours to mine, mine has a lot of other options that yours probably don't. So if you want to use these options instead of just getting stuck to RGB and CMYK because they pretty much have no color, you can just come over here, click on the panel menu, and you click on Legacy Swatches. Once you do that, Photoshop's gonna show you all the other options they have, and believe me, it's a lot. If I just open the Pantone CMYK Uncoated, that's the favorite one I use, my favorite personally, you're gonna see that you have a lot of colors, a lot of options, okay? So you can choose between them. They usually are pretty good colors, and I don't use any other way unless I need to create shades of a color. And talking about shades, we're gonna have another panel if you like to paint stuff, if you like to colorize and things like that, like professionally. So I'll show you that just in a while. But first, let's finish this panel. On the left side here, you're gonna realize on the up side here, you're gonna realize that I have a lot of colors. And let's say I click on this one. Now it moved all the way to be the first one instead of the last one. If I click on this one, it's not the last anymore, now it's the first. So what's happening here is that these are the most recent colors you used. So if I come down here and I click on any other color, any of them, let's get this yellowish brown, you're gonna see that that is the first color now. So the most recent colors are always gonna be there, and you can always keep clicking on them and selecting them, and they're gonna be there. Okay, so beware that you can't have infinite recent colors, just a couple ones. So if you're using a lot of them, you're gonna have to manage it in a little bit of a smarter way. And what is the smarter way? Let's say I have an image. So I'm just coming here to my browser, and let's say I like this image over here. I'm just gonna copy image, drag my image here, and I'm gonna create a new file. Control N to create a new file. It's gonna get the size of the clipboard. That's the size of that image. Create, and I'm gonna just paste over it. Okay. So let's say I like these colors. They have this image has a nice tone of red, a nice yellow, a nice black, nice blue, and I can use these colors. How do I do it? You can create your own group of colors. You're not stuck to the ones that Photoshop give it to you. So you can come down here. I'm just gonna let the last one down here, and I'm gonna click on this button, okay? So I'm just gonna name it like Mauricio Colors. Simple like that. Okay. And now I'm gonna have here the Mauricio colors. These are the colors I want to use. So if you have a project, let's say I was developing an app and I was using these colors, Lotto app. These are the colors I was using, so I had them on a separate folder. All you gotta do is, let's get the eyedropper. So here goes a new tool. So eyedropper, if you just press I on your keyboard, you're gonna select that on your toolbox, and you can select the eyedropper tool. I'm gonna go here and click on this yellow, okay? Now the yellow is selected here as my foreground color. If I wanna save this color, I'm just gonna go here and press this little button. And then you can name that color anything you want. Usually I don't rename them. No problem at all, I don't care. So I'm just gonna click OK. And now I have this yellow inside my folder. You see, I can open and collapse this folder and it's gonna have this color. So now I'm gonna get the black. And I'm gonna do the same thing because this black is not entirely black. So I'm gonna add to it. Nice. And now you're gonna notice that it created it under that color. So I can just simply, if that happens to you, you can just click and drag inside the folder. Why did that happen? Because I didn't have my folder selected. Now I have my folder selected, and I'm gonna click on the red, click on the red, click on the little button, OK, and now it's inside my folder again. And this way is gonna make it a lot easier for you to manage colors in your project, okay? So let's keep going. On the left side here, you notice I have two colors. I have the foreground color, which is the little square on the top left side, and I have the background color, which is the blue square down here. If you want to reset these colors, you can just press D on your keyboard, And now the foreground color is black and the background color is white. Let's say you want white as the foreground color. You can just press X on your keyboard and it's gonna keep changing these two colors, okay? So if I come here and I select yellow again for my foreground color, and now I want red for my background color, I'm just gonna hit X, click on it, and hit X again. So now I can keep swatching, I can keep swapping between these two colors, and I can use them any way I want, okay? I told you before that I would show you something if you like to work with paintings on Photoshop. So if you come back here again to the color panel, you're going to realize that in this little panel menu, you have an option called color wheel. I'm not going to go through all of these, okay? So we talked about the RGB sliders and the CMYK sliders. Now I just want to show you the color wheel. So if you click on the color wheel, you're going to realize that the hue is around this little square. And the color, the most vivid saturated color, is going to be on the right side. The darkest is going to be down here, and the brightest is going to be up here. So let's say I get this shade of red, this one. I just clicked it with the eyedropper, and now it's selected here. If I want a little bit darker color, I can just come over here and click down here. And if I want a brighter color, I can just come up here and click up here. And then you can select the colors any way you want. That's how professional digital painters do it, okay? So you can literally just paint over it. I did it for a while and it's really useful, it's really fun, and it makes everything a lot faster to select colors especially. And you can also change the sliders over here, which you're probably not gonna do, okay? But I'm just gonna explain it to you. The hue is gonna be the colors you're gonna be using. The S is gonna be the saturation, and B is gonna be the brightness. So that's gonna adjust there, and you can see in the little square the things change, and now in the little circle that the colors are changed. Okay, so that's how you can use that panel to make beautiful paintings, and then you can choose the colors and the shades of the color you're using and keep working on it. Now I'm gonna show you the coolest feature of Photoshop in my opinion. The coolest of all the tools of everything Photoshop can do. In my opinion, that's the coolest one. So I'm gonna go back to the swatches panel, and you probably realized during this video that I'm changing all the time swatches to color down here because I want you to get used to it, okay? So if you keep changing it, okay, now I have to go to this panel, this other panel, now I'm going to the toolbar, so you're gonna get used to it. It's on purpose, don't worry. So if I come over here and I use the eyedropper tool, you can do one of the coolest things, as I said. So I'm gonna bring my browser over here again, and let's say I have an image, which is this one. I'm just gonna click on it and open it just to stay a little bit more on the left side. And now I'm gonna drag my Photoshop screen all the way here to the left. Why am I saying that this is the coolest feature of Photoshop? The reason is, let's say you want a color from this image, all right? What do? Usually you would right click over here and you're gonna copy that image and you're gonna paste on Photoshop and then you're gonna copy the colors, okay? But you can see that this website, I'm clicking with my right button and it's scrolling all the way down. I can't copy this image, it's protected. But I just want the colors, I don't want to use the image. How do I do it? So I'm gonna go to Photoshop with the eyedropper tool. I'm gonna click on it and I want you to notice what's happening here on this small square, okay? I'm gonna click on it, see that I'm dragging, okay? So now it's getting the colors of my image, and now it's yellow, red, white, and now it's what? What the hell is going on? It's changing colors. Wait, now it's gray? What's going on? So in Photoshop, you can literally drag the eyedropper tool all the way outside Photoshop, and you can copy the colors that are showing on your screen. So I'm gonna get this little blue here, and I'm gonna create a new folder. Let's call, well, oops, sorry. I wanna create a new folder. Let's call the BMW. Okay, I'm gonna click and drag. I'm gonna get the blue and create a new color. Nice. So I'm just gonna drag my folder over here. get down here. Let's put it over here because, okay. So that's the blue. I'm gonna get now the darker blue and I'm gonna add to it. And now I'm gonna get the red and I'm gonna add to it. I'm gonna get the gray and I'm gonna add to it. And as you can see, you can literally steal the color of anywhere in your screen. You can get the colors of your wallpaper. It doesn't matter. You can drag all the way outside your screen and you're gonna get the color and you can add there and you can create your folder. That's super, super cool. So I just wanted to show you this because I'm pretty sure that's gonna be really, really useful during your journey. Okay? And as I said, that's the coolest feature of all. Now we're gonna talk about the gradient tool. If you come here to your toolbox on the left side, and you click and drag and you click here, you're gonna see that we have the gradient tool and the paint bucket tool. So the gradient tool, how does it work? So I have these two colors here, the purple and the yellow, and if you look up here, I have this option. This option, if you click and drag and it's not showing the way you think it would be, you just have to come to this option, and you see the basics here. If you click on it, that's gonna be the basic color. That's gonna get the two colors you have over here. The second one is going to get the first color you have, and then it's going to be opacity. It's going to be completely transparent all the way. And the third one is going to be black and white. So let's see. If I just click and drag, it's going to apply my gradient to my image. Okay? I'm going to click on the background again. Let's remove that view of this layer. And now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to select the second one. Let's change the color. Let's get it red. Okay. And you see that it changed over here. So if I click and drag, it's gonna be red to transparent. Okay? Let's remove the view and let's add another one. So if I click over here and I click on the black and white, it doesn't matter which color I'm selecting here, it's always gonna be black and white. It's simple like that. Okay? So you see this little kind of square over here. If you click and drag, that's gonna change where the gradient's gonna fade. Okay, so it can get closer to the white, closer to the black. Usually you're gonna want it right between the middle. So that's kind of how we use most of the time. On the right side here, you're gonna see that I have the colors over here, I have the presets, I have all the other options that I have up here. Okay, so I'm just gonna use the panel just to change a little bit so you can see that you can do the same thing in multiple places. So if I just come over here and double click on the black one, I can change the color and let's say I want it to be blue. Okay, and on the other one, I'm gonna click on it and now let's say I want it to be orange. Okay, now I can change it. The same kind of square we have here, we have on the other side. So whatever you change, whatever you change is gonna be the same. Okay, so here you can see on the canvas, and here you can see it on the panel. What if you wanna add another color? You see the big line over here? If I just come over here, you see the plus sign on my cursor? If I just click on it, that's gonna get the foreground color and it's gonna apply it to my design. And if I wanna remove that color, I can't do it over here. If I press delete, it removes it. I press Ctrl Z. So if you come over here to the panel and I click and drag down, it's also gonna remove it. The other way of removing it, it's as I show you the delete, and you can just drag it all the way. Oops, sorry. You can just click on the bin button here. You see, it's so many ways of doing the same thing that even I get mixed up. So you just have to choose one. When I have to do it, I just click and drag down. That's it. That's how I do it. The other options you have the linear gradient, you have the radial gradient, and that's gonna mean that one color is going to be on the center and everything else is going to be rounded. You can click on this little ball here on the side and you can squeeze it, or you can come over here, click and drag, and it's going to reduce size. And the same thing over here, you can change where the gradient is. Okay, and you have three more options here, which is this one, and this one. Why am I not getting into details about it? Because you're never gonna use it. It's completely useless. No one uses this. Maybe this one, but never these two. okay? They're just for show, and just please don't use it. It looks ridiculous. So most of the time you're gonna use the linear one and the gradient one. And if you want to change the colors, there are two ways of doing it. Not just swap the colors, okay? Not changing, but just swap it. You can come over here and you can click and drag, and reverse the colors here. Or you can just get over here in the reverse button and you press the checkbox and it's going to reverse the colors. So two ways of doing the same thing. Whatever is easier, however you want to do it, okay? And also you can change the opacity. So if you come down here, you have this little box over here. I selected it. If I just drag to one side or the other, nothing changes. Oops. Just click and drag, nothing changes, right? But if I have this little ball selected and I come over here and I click and drag over the opacity, or if I click and drag over here, just click on the little arrow and you click and drag, or if you just type a number, it all gonna changes the opacity, okay? And the same way as you can add colors here and remove those colors, you can add opacity here and you can change the opacity. So you can do it any way you want, okay? So that's gonna help you with your design and you can apply to it. But why am I using this image as a background if we're talking about gradient? It's super simple. So I'm gonna delete these three gradient fields. I'm just gonna create a new one over here. I'm gonna apply to it. And then I'm gonna go to the blend modes, which I taught you in the layers video. And I'm gonna choose any other blend mode. And then it's gonna apply the color. Since the image is black and white, it's gonna apply nicely, okay? So that's another way you can apply colors to things. You can use the gradient to do it, and you can choose which one's gonna look the best for the design you want. Or you can just create a new layer with solid color. If you come down here, click on this button, you're gonna have up here solid color. So if you click on it, it's gonna create a new layer with a layer mask. It's gonna fill with whatever color you want. Let's get a kind of bluish green, greenish blue. Press OK. And then you can do the same thing and apply the blend mode to it. Most of the time you're gonna use multiply or overlay, depends on your design, and then you can change the color of things. That doesn't apply just to black and white. You can apply that to any other image. So if I get this one and I come over here, click on the button, apply the solid color, let's keep it red, okay, and I change the blend mode, it's gonna apply red to everything. Sometimes that's what you want. So that's one way of doing it. Okay, so just choose yours and you apply to it and you can have a really cool effect. Since there are many ways of working with colors in Photoshop, in this video I showed you all the basic ways you can use colors. In the next one, I'm gonna show you all the advanced ways of using it, and these are the ones that are really, really interesting and that you're gonna use professionally if you're using to edit pictures, photos if you're a photographer, or if you just want to adjust an image, change a little bit of the colors, a few of the colors, maybe just a little bit of blue, a little bit of orange. And so there are all the things you gotta see. But I can't keep everything on this one video or else it's gonna be 1 hour video long. So in the next video, I'm gonna show you all the advanced ways of changing and working with colors in Photoshop. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next video. See ya!